The Archetypes and the Collective Unconscious by Carl Jung, first published in 1934, is one of the most important works in the field of psychology, particularly within the realm of analytical psychology. In this work, Jung explores the depth and complexity of the human psyche, proposing that there are universal elements embedded in the unconscious mind that shape human experiences across cultures and history. Central to Jung's theory is the concept of the collective unconscious, a layer of the unconscious mind shared by all humans, which contains archetypes, innate universal patterns or structures that shape both individual behavior and cultural narratives. The collective unconscious. Jung's concept of the collective unconscious is a departure from the Freudian notion of the personal unconscious, which refers to the experiences and memories unique to the individual. Jung argued that, in addition to the personal unconscious, there exists a deeper level of the unconscious that is shared by all people. The collective unconscious holds experiences and memories that have been passed down through generations and are common to the entire human species. These experiences are not personal in nature, but are instead universal, inherited from our ancestors and from the evolutionary history of humanity. They manifest themselves through archetypes, universal symbols, myths, and motifs that are expressed in dreams, myths, and cultural narratives. For Jung, the collective unconscious is not something we are aware of in daily life. It is a reservoir of potential knowledge and experience that influences our behavior and perception of the world. He saw it as a kind of psychological inheritance that shapes our reactions, emotions, and understanding of the world around us. While the personal unconscious is formed through an individual's life experiences, the collective unconscious is a shared psychological structure common to all human beings. Archetypes. Archetypes are one of the most significant concepts in Jungian psychology. They are fundamental, universal symbols that exist in the collective unconscious and appear in myths, dreams, fairy tales, art, religion, and culture. Archetypes are not directly inherited images, but rather represent fundamental human experiences that have been internalized across generations. They are innate, universal motifs that manifest in particular ways depending on the individual's culture, personal history, and circumstances, but their essence remains the same. Jung identified several core archetypes, each representing a fundamental aspect of human experience. 1. The self. The self is the central archetype in Jungian psychology, representing the totality of the psyche. It encompasses both the conscious and unconscious mind and represents the unity of opposites within the individual. The self is the goal of the process of individuation, which is the process of integrating different aspects of the psyche to become a whole and balanced person. The self is often symbolized by images of wholeness, such as a circle, mandala, or a divine figure. 2. The shadow. The shadow represents the unconscious aspects of the personality that are suppressed, rejected, or denied by the conscious mind. It contains the traits, impulses, and desires that an individual may deem undesirable or socially unacceptable. However, the shadow is not inherently negative. It can contain positive qualities that the individual has neglected or repressed. Confronting the shadow is an essential part of the individuation process, as it involves embracing and integrating those hidden aspects of the self. 3. The anima and animus. These archetypes represent the feminine and masculine aspects of the psyche, respectively. The anima is the feminine aspect present in the unconscious of men, while the animus is the masculine aspect present in the unconscious of women. These archetypes are not mere gender roles, but rather represent the internalized qualities of the opposite sex that influence behavior, thoughts, and emotions. The anima and animus are often personified in dreams and fantasies as figures that guide and influence the individual's emotional life. 4. The persona. The persona is the social mask or outward identity that an individual presents to the world. It represents the roles and behaviors that are acceptable or expected in a given society. The persona allows an individual to function within society and fulfill social roles, but it can also become a source of conflict if the individual becomes too identified with the mask and neglects the deeper, unconscious aspects of the self. 5. The hero. The hero archetype represents the courageous figure who embarks on a journey or quest to overcome challenges and achieve a significant goal. The hero often faces trials and tribulations, which serve as a metaphor for the individual's struggle to integrate different aspects of the self. The hero archetype symbolizes the process of individuation and personal growth. 6. The wise old man, woman. This archetype represents wisdom, guidance, and insight. The wise old man or woman is often a mentor figure in myths and stories, offering advice and support to the hero on their journey. This archetype reflects the desire for guidance and understanding in times of uncertainty and serves as a symbol of the deeper knowledge that resides in the unconscious. The trickster. The trickster is an archetype that represents mischief, humor, and the subversion of established norms. The trickster often challenges authority, breaks rules, and exposes the contradictions in society and human nature. While the trickster can be disruptive, it also serves as a reminder of the complexity and ambiguity of life. These are just a few examples of the many archetypes identified by Jung. The key point is that archetypes are universal motifs that reflect basic human experiences and patterns of behavior. They are not static or fixed, but are dynamic and evolve over time in response to cultural, societal, and personal changes. Archetypes in mythology and culture. Jung believed that archetypes are not only present in the individual unconscious, but also manifest in the collective consciousness of societies through myths, religion, folklore, and art. Across cultures and historical periods, similar archetypes appear in stories, rituals, and symbols. For example, the hero's journey can be seen in ancient myths such as the Greek myth of Heracles or the biblical story of Moses. Similarly, the shadow can be found in stories about the struggle between good and evil, as seen in the figure of the devil, or the antagonist in many myths and legends. Jung also argued that archetypes can be found in religious symbols, rituals, and practices. The idea of the self, for instance, is often expressed in religious traditions as a symbol of divine wholeness or enlightenment. The process of individuation, which Jung saw as a spiritual journey, is reflected in the mystical and transformative experiences found in many religious paths. The archetypes present in myths and cultural narratives offer insight into the human condition and reveal fundamental truths about the nature of existence. They serve as a bridge between the individual unconscious and the collective human experience, allowing us to understand our shared psychological inheritance. Individuation and the integration of archetypes. For Jung, the process of individuation, the journey towards self-realization and psychological wholeness, was central to human development. Individuation involves the integration of the unconscious aspects of the psyche, including the archetypes, into conscious awareness. This process requires the individual to confront and integrate the shadow, accept the guidance of the anima or animus, and develop a deeper connection with the self. Individuation is not an easy process, as it requires facing the unconscious forces that influence behavior and thought. However, Jung believed that this process was essential for personal growth and self-understanding. By engaging with the archetypes and integrating their wisdom, individuals can achieve a more balanced and authentic way of living. Carl Jung's The Archetypes and the Collective Unconscious offers a profound exploration of the human psyche, revealing the universal symbols and patterns that shape our experiences and perceptions. The collective unconscious, with its archetypes, serves as a link between the individual and the shared human experience. By understanding and integrating the archetypes, we can better understand ourselves, our motivations, and our place in the world. Jung's ideas continue to influence psychology, philosophy, art, and culture, offering a rich framework for exploring the depths of the unconscious mind.